Schloss Neuschwanstein is one of our favorite castles here in this family, and it's also a popular tourist destination. Plus, a lot of LEGO architecture fans have been clamoring for this set for years. And finally, LEGO is giving us this set in architecture form, a micro scale, $280 US, 3,455 piece Schloss Neuschwanstein. Now, even if you aren't planning on getting this set, you probably look at it and are thinking, wow, that's really cool. So in this video, I'm going to break down why that is. Let's dive in. Usually, I'm not a big fan of micro scale sets. I think it just lacks some of the detailing and the panache of minifig scale sets. But this one is different. And I think there are a couple reasons as for why that is. The first is that it does have a lot of really interesting details as well as Easter eggs. In this set, we get some interior decor, such as this swan sculpture, which is a heraldic animal in the castle, along with this room that's adorned with gold, which, looking at some pictures of the interior of the castle, it's pretty typical. As noted on the box and multiple images, you can also swap out the trees from the green summer foliage to fall foliage. It's very reminiscent of the treehouse idea set from a couple of years ago. That was very, very popular. And if you're able to snag this, it's be interesting to see how you choose to display it. Personally, I would lean toward keeping it on the fall foliage for our display. One other interesting thing about this is the number of windows that come on tiles and 2x2 round bricks, as well as the 1x2 white bricks. Now, these pieces look to be printed, which is a great choice by LEGO, especially with those 2x2 round bricks, because you don't have to apply stickers over curved pieces, which happens to be a pet peeve of mine. Of course, when you're including so many of them in one set, it does make it more cost effective, but regardless, I hope LEGO does more of this in the future. The other details just jump out, whether it's the walkway up to the castle gatehouse along the right-hand side, or the courtyard, or even some of the splashes of color that get popped in the set here and there. Plus, the details of the stone and mountain work is really high level for a LEGO set. Something else that might not be readily apparent when you look at the set, but it's why you are drawn to it, is that LEGO, I believe, has what I call the triumvirate of building experience components, right? You've got snot work, you've got angles, and then you've got nice parts usage. And this set has quite a bit of all three. There are so many snot techniques in this set that I'm not going to dwell on all of them, especially the simpler ones, such as using the headlight bricks and the tiles for the windows. Instead, check out these buttresses at the bottom of the round towers, which use 1x6 and 1x4 slopes, or even the buttresses toward the back of the castle that use some tile work there. There's also some snot work on the gatehouse roof, in the courtyard base, and the exterior wall right here. I also want to highlight the back of the castle, which uses some wedge plates turned sideways to mimic supports. This is a fantastic detail. I love seeing that. Is it super complex? No, but it really shows the attention to detail as well as some fun snot techniques. In terms of nice parts usage, note the use of Technic gears in the tower spires, the forks that we see in the roof above the dormers in that area, the horn piece that's used for the swan, and even the use of Technic connectors as tree trunks, which I never would have thought to use in micro scale. And we oftentimes see this with such sets, where micro scale sets are forced into showing us unique ways with which we can use pieces. And really, this set does not disappoint at all. Finally, angles abound in Neuschwanstein. The tower buttresses often move off at an angle, but more importantly, the whole back side of the castle softly angles to the left, which is very noticeable when you look at the real castle. So I'm glad LEGO has done that here, and I'm very curious to see how LEGO accomplished that. My guess is they use clips, but we might find out when we get the set or are able to see some reviews. Another note on the angles along the base of the set and the light blade walkway or path that leads up to the gatehouse has some nice subtle angles to it as well that I didn't notice when I first viewed the images. Of course, another reason that you are impressed by the set is the aesthetic. I mean, think about it. Not every Lego set is going to have that wow factor. It's not going to be able to relate to something that you've seen very, very well, or have a fresh concept that you've never seen before. But this set finds a way to do that. At 18 inches long and 12 inches high, it's big. It's not massive. It's more shelf-friendly than a lot of other large 18+ styled sets. It is a bit bigger than the microscale Hogwarts, which is 13.5 inches long, and it's just a bit wider than Notre Dame. Here's a shot of it by the cathedral as well as the recent Trevi fountain if you want to get a sense of perspective. The mix of colors, especially the fall foliage, is warm and inviting, and the dark tan slopes used in the rockwork softens the set a bit from an all-dark blay approach. Plus, there's its perch atop the mountain, which just adds to the majestic design and ambiance of the set. Most importantly, Lego has just nailed the actual look of this set. When you see it, it's instantly recognizable. The scale of the set is reasonable. It's not too big in terms of the pieces. It's not too small that you can't miss the details. And so I have to give props to the Lego designers. The architecture set designers have done a fantastic job of representing these iconic structures and landmarks around the world. And we saw this certainly with the Taj Mahal, the Notre Dame, and many others, the Great Pyramid of Giza, for instance. I think they just have done a great job, and this one fits in with that. It meets the expectations. I think that's key, right? Because when you heard rumors that Lego's coming out with the Neuschwanstein castle, you're thinking, okay, how can they mess it up? But they've done an excellent job and it meets our expectations and then maybe even surpasses them with just some of those really cool details. So props to the Lego design team for what they did here. And that's just a huge reason why when we see this set, we think that's really well done. So is this a must-get set? I think it depends on who you are, of course. Now, for a lot of people, you look at the price, $280 for a little bit under 3,500 pieces, and you would say that's a great price per piece ratio. I would say, though, this is one of those times when the price per piece ratio is a bit deceiving. There are a lot of small pieces that you typically see in micro scale sets. So it's not as if this is a false advertising kind of thing, but the reality is small pieces can inflate the piece count and thus drive down the price per piece ratio. And I think that's happening a little bit here. Still, I don't think it's a terrible price for this set. It's a large set. It's gonna have a lot of details. It does have some pretty substantive pieces with all the slopes that they use for the rock work, and it does have printed pieces, lots of them, which I'm sure Lego would argue drives up the price at least a little bit. For us, this is going to be a tough one, and it's not because we don't like the set. It's just when you think about the August releases and what we prioritize in getting, you've got the new Creator 3-in-1 Castle, you've got the new Haunted Mansion, also rumors that we're going to have the Italian Riviera idea set coming out in August, and those all are going to be really high up on our list. This one, we'll have to see. I do like it though, and I hope that we're able to get it in August, but it depends really on how well a channel does. For other fans, especially architecture fans, I think this is a must get. The question is, when do you get it? And I think for many, many people, it's probably worth waiting a few months. That November, Black Friday into December, those weekends oftentimes see lots of interesting Lego deals. I'm not saying that this set is going to go on sale at lego.com or Lego stores then, but certainly double points, maybe even triple points, really interesting and solid gifts with purchase are coming out around then. And so if this Black Friday into the first week of December is anything in keeping with prior years, you're going to find a better opportunity to get this than you would if you buy it on day one. But then again, right? Is it going to be available? This is a set that has the potential to sell really well and might be hard to find when pairing up with some of those deals. So really depends on how big of a fan of architecture, castles, and particularly Schloss Neuschwanstein. Well, overall, I definitely think Lego has nailed this set, and I'm curious to see if you think that as well. If so, put it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and always remember to keep building together.